Believe it or not, using sources makes your writing easier. Most students believe that fewer references will make their work easier. After all, looking for relevant sources takes effort. This is true, so students logically believe that using fewer sources will make their work easier. But reality is different. Let me explain why using more rather than fewer sources will make your work easier. Imagine if you were writing a 250-word section of a literature review with one citation. Because you rationalize that it is easier to just get one source and not waste time on others, and then get right to the writing. Knock it out and be done. When you use one source, it is hard to write 250 words. That is one double-space page. You have to come up with almost all the content. And many times you are writing about things you don't know much about or about ideas that are new to you. The thinking and the connections come from the same source, and the single citation does almost no work for you as the writer. Working this way is exhausting because this type of work actually is exhausting. Now imagine you are writing that same 250-word page and you have 5 or more sources. You can build a simple outline based on ideas and snippets from those sources. You paraphrase them and you integrate them. This is how it might go. For example, you introduce an idea from the first source. That idea raises a question that the second source addresses. The third source qualifies the second. A fourth source adds a different perspective from a different research stream. More than likely, you will add more sources as evidence to support the integration of ideas and to make connections. In other words, no pun intended. When you have more sources, you have more material, more ideas to write about. There is less for you to make up. It is so much easier to write about ideas you find compared to making up new ideas. And in academic work, just making up ideas is not appropriate. Ideas must be connected to what we call the literature. If not, those ideas are just your opinion, and academic research is not a collection of personal opinions. Students who try to do the least amount of work struggle the most. When you have only a few sources, you have to make up a lot of content. When you have more sources, you have more ideas, and it is easier to write, make connections, and present arguments. A solid dissertation runs between 80 and 120 pages of double-spaced text, and you will need at a minimum 70 to 80 sources. But keep the one source per page idea in mind. If your dissertation is 80 pages and you have 80 sources, that means you have an average of one source per page. That means you are doing a lot of work, perhaps too much work. A dissertation of 80 or more pages with 5 citations per page, just as a guide, not a rule, gives you about 400 citations. That doesn't mean 400 references, since many of your references will be used more than once. But it may mean 100 or more references. The key message here is that you need to be doing a lot of sourcing. Go get articles and studies that help you think about, talk about, and write about your topic and any and all sub-elements of it. While it takes effort to get more sources, that effort pays off later when you are putting your ideas into writing.